So did Juicy Smouye start a challenge or what? How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about yet another hate hoax at a school, this time out there in Missouri, in the St. Louis area. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. But there was some so-called racist graffiti scrawled on the walls, and that caused a whole big uproar, a big panic, and it was really crazy, an over-the-top reaction, in my humble opinion. But a thing that we all could have seen coming. If you heard the story from the beginning, immediately you got to have spidey senses up, your antennas up. Like, that might not be real. That might be fake. Because we've seen the same story over and over and over and over again, especially recently. Now, before I go any further, let's roll the clip. In this clip, you'll see the bathroom where the so-called racist graffiti was at. I'm not sure that they're going to be able to show what it actually says, probably some N-words and whatnot, but you're going to see kind of where it was. You're going to see some of the reaction. And after we get done watching that, I'll come back. I'll talk about what happened there. Then I'll give you the rest of my 2 cents, my deep detailed analysis, and then I'll wrap it on up with a nice bow on top. So without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Tonight, an update from the Parkway School District after the disturbing racist graffiti in a bathroom at Central High School. The district confirming to News 4 tonight that the person behind the slurs aimed at black people was a black student. Now new tonight, a classmate behind a walkout last week over the incident is telling News 4 she's incredibly disheartened.
It's just overall embarrassing because I feel like we put in a lot of work, but it hasn't gone to waste because the message is still the same. But it's just embarrassing to see that it's one of us.
Parkway Superintendent tells News 4, quote, "This does not diminish the hurt it caused or the negative impact it had on our entire community. The student is facing severe disciplinary consequences and referral to law enforcement for this investigation." Racist graffiti was also found at Parkway North High School last week. Right now, Parkway tells us they are still investigating that incident.
All right, so you saw that, you heard that. Now, this is so predictable, it's not even funny. It's gotten to the point where when I hear a thing like this, right away I'm thinking, that's probably fake. That's not real. Racist graffiti, really? Come on. Ain't nobody trying to, any kind of hate crime, any kind of thing like this, I instantly think that it's fake. We know the most famous one, Juicy Smouye, that was ridiculous. This man did that at a time of heightened racial sensitivity. People were going out there doing BLM and all kind of stuff, tearing things up. The 100 Nights of Carnage or whatever in Portland, that might have been at the same time or not too far from that particular incident. So there was a lot of racial hostility in the country, and that could have sparked a race war to a certain extent. I don't think we're going to have a real race war in this country. I'm talking about like a localized thing, some heightened levels of riots out there in Chicago. But when that happened, I was thinking, that doesn't look right. That doesn't sound right. But a lot of people, they bought into it. And I still feel like if you ask the average normie out there who's not really plugged into the internets like many of us are, who is not really watching the news like many of us are, they may think that it's still real. They may think that there's something there. They may think that there is an actual problem with, racist white groups attacking black people and hate crimes and lynching and stuff like that, when there is not. There is not a problem with that. It's gotten to the point where it's a joke. It's a game. It's funny. It's ha-ha. Dave Chappelle did a whole comedy skit about Juicy Smouye. That's why I say Juicy Smouye that way. He has become kind of the butt of a joke, Jussie Smollett. But some people think that this whole thing that he was talking about is real. Same thing with the whole hands up, don't shoot kerfuffle. Ironically enough, also in Missouri, in Ferguson, Missouri, if I'm not mistaken, Mike Brown. Now, we know, according to Barack Obama's DOJ with Eric Holder leading it up, we know that was not real. We know that he charged at Darren Wilson and got shot as a result. There's videotape saying it. People on the ground, witnesses saying what happened right there. They investigated, the DOJ that is, with Eric Holder and Barack Obama. They investigated. They didn't find this whole hands up, don't shoot thing to be accurate, but still, people still screech, hands up, don't shoot. So why does this keep happening? Why do we keep having all these issues? I think it's because people want to get attention. Maybe they want to get a day out of school. Maybe they just want to just cause problems, wreak havoc. There's no real reason. If you guys ever seen some of these Batman movies, I think the one where Joker was it Heath Ledger? And I'm not sure who it was, but anyway, when he had on the nurse outfit and he had the bomb or whatever and blew it up, and he's talking to Two-Face, and Two-Face is trying to like rationalize, is like, why are you doing this? What's your end goal? He's like, do I appear to be a guy with a plan? I just do things. I'm just doing things just because I enjoy it, not because there's an actual end goal or a rational reason or, some kind of 5,000 IQ big brain conspiracy. I'm just doing it because I want to, because I feel like it's fun. That's what's going on. And then a lot of the normies out there, they kind of, follow this carrot thinking that there's some kind of racism pot of gold at the end of the racism rainbow. So they just keep following and following and following it. Meanwhile, the actual problems go totally ignored. A lot of you guys may ask me about schools and what can we do to fix them and how can we improve a lot of these inner city spots or schools where you got the so-called minorities underperforming. Well, you got to look at the home life. That's where it's all coming from. I mean, where did these kids come from before they go to school? They got to have somewhere to live. They have to have parents. They may not have parents in their life, but somebody brought them into the world. It didn't just magically appear, just somebody sprinkling fairy dust on the school. And then you got this ne'er-do-well popping up. That's not how that works. Two people brought them into the world. Somebody's going to take care of them, whether they, water the state, homeless. I don't know. Somebody's got to be doing something for these children. There's a reason why they go to school and do these things, right? This whole racism thing is totally irrelevant. You guys know I'm from Virginia Beach area. And I saw on the news back home where they found a bunch of guns, like at a high school football game. And I forget how it happened. I think that they found the guns at the stadium before the game started. 5 handguns, one what appears to be like a mini Draco, like a AR pistol. And I'll place that on the screen before you. I think that's the bigger problem. Guns in school, gang banging at school, drugs at school. At school, like 14, 15-year-olds engaging in violence, engaging in gang banging and whatnot. That's the actual problem, not racism. People want to place this idea of racism above all else. Okay, when I'm talking about cultural problems and crackhead parents having these kids who are also crackheads, crack babies, who go out there and wreak havoc in the community. When I talk about stuff like that, oh, ABL, you're racist. You hate black folks. You hate kids. You hate parents. You don't care. You're a racist Republican, all about money, all this, that, and the third. They say all these things to me, but they're totally ignoring what the problems actually are. And then they point to a thing that's not the problem. You know what? As I close, I want to say this. It's easy to point the finger at the racism white man, the boogeyman that doesn't exist because that's low-hanging fruit. There's no accountability. There's no problem solving and pointing the finger somewhere else. But when you got to look in that mirror and judge yourself, judge your demon seed children, when you got to do that, now it becomes more difficult. Now it's harder to just say, oh, here's an episode of so-called racism. Let's focus on that. You can't do that anymore when you look at reality. And I hope that a lot of these kids who are doing these hate hoaxes and some of these grown men like Juicy Smouye would focus on what the actual problems are rather than trying to create problems. And rather than trying to get some attention, rather than trying to get clout for doing a negative thing, how about doing a positive thing, like standing up for yourself, like Jonathan Isaac, also a black male, standing up for what's right, not wanting to get the shot because you feel like I don't need it. Having personal liberty and freedom and things of that nature. Get attention for the right reasons rather than the wrong reasons. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about the hate hoax out there in that school in Missouri? Is it something that is justified to do? I'm not really sure how it could be, but good thing, bad thing, whatever your thoughts on that are, let me know in the comments below. How do you feel about the issues in public school? What are the problems really? Is it about racism? Is it about teachers treating the kids poorly because of their race? Or like, what are the actual problems? How can we fix some of these issues? You guys pretty much know where I'm at. I say that the parents need to be held accountable. And what I always say when it comes to questions like this is you got to get rid of that welfare state. As long as the welfare state exists, you subsidize these failures. You subsidize these demon-spawned children that go out to the school and do things like that. Oh, I think it's funny. I think it's cool. I get some attention, blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, people on the edge, they think there's this racism boogeyman around every corner. They're afraid of their own shadow at a certain point because they've been trained to kind of walk on eggshells. If we can get down to the core of these cultural problems, then maybe we would not have all these ridiculous hate hoaxes that some people still believe, although they're obviously fake, they're obviously phony, and anybody could see that from the beginning if they're looking at it from a clear view. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.